Let's drift back in time to a world of swaying sails and distant horizons, to the story of the Phoenicians. Imagine the sun, a warm caress on your skin, as you feel the gentle rocking of a ship beneath you. The year is roughly 1500 BC, and the scent of salt and pine hangs heavy in the air. You are a Phoenician sailor, perhaps, or perhaps you are simply dreaming of their world from the comfort of your bed. The Phoenicians, a seafaring people from the eastern Mediterranean coast near what is now Lebanon, were masters of the waves. Their purple-dyed cloth, a color so vibrant it was fit for royalty, spoke of their skill in trading and craft. Imagine the vibrant colors of that dye, richer than any you've seen, slowly staining the fabric in the warm sun. It took immense effort, untold hours of painstaking work with sea snails to achieve that hue. But the Phoenicians, patient and persistent, were rewarded with a prize worthy of kings and queens across the ancient world. Their ships, sturdy and graceful, were their lifeblood. Picture their wooden hulls, polished smooth by the ceaseless caress of the sea, cutting through the waves. They weren't just vessels, they were floating cities, carrying not only goods, but families, dreams, and the whispers of countless stories. Imagine the rhythmic creak of the wood, the gentle splash of water against the hull, a constant, soothing lullaby under the vast, star-studded sky. The sails, billowing like giant wings, caught the wind, carrying them across the boundless blue. Their voyages were legendary, stretching across the Mediterranean and beyond. They established trading posts and colonies in North Africa, Spain, and even as far as Britain. Picture the bustling harbors, filled with the chatter of different tongues, the bartering of goods, the sight of exotic spices and fabrics from lands far away. Their travels weren't just about profit. They were about connecting the world, building a network of trade and cultural exchange. Imagine a world before maps as we know them, navigated by the stars, the currents, and the wisdom passed down through generations of skilled sailors. They weren't just traders, they were explorers, cartographers, and inventors. They developed an alphabet that would become the foundation for many others, including our own. Imagine the simple elegance of these letters, each one a tiny stroke of genius that allowed ideas and knowledge to spread. And as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, think of the Phoenician sailors, weary but content, gazing at the stars, knowing that the vast expanse of the sea held endless possibilities. Let the quiet rhythm of the waves lull you to sleep as you contemplate their incredible journey, a journey that echoes even now across the centuries. Let the gentle sounds of the ocean carry you into a peaceful slumber. Sleep well. Imagine, if you will, the sun dipping low over the eastern Mediterranean, painting the sky in hues of orange and rose. The gentle lapping of waves against the shore provides a soothing soundtrack to the day's end. This is the land of the Phoenicians, a civilization that thrived for centuries, leaving an indelible mark on the ancient world. Nestled along this coastline, their cities blossomed, vibrant centers of trade and seafaring prowess. Picture Byblos, a name whispered through the ages. Its harbor, a bustling hive of activity, teemed with ships from distant lands. Merchants bartered goods, purple dye, prized for its richness and rarity, Cedarwood, strong and fragrant, filling the air with its unique scent. These were the treasures of Lebanon, exchanged for spices from the east, silks from faraway empires, and the many other wonders the world had to offer. You could almost feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the salty tang of the sea air in your nostrils as you walked the bustling streets, the sounds of merchants calling out their wares a constant hum in the background. Sidon, another Phoenician jewel, mirrored Byblos in its prosperity. Its skilled craftsmen, renowned for their artistry, produced intricate glassware and finely wrought metalwork. These beautiful creations found their way into palaces and temples across the Mediterranean, silent witnesses to the Phoenician mastery of design and artistry. Imagine the quiet concentration of a craftsman, his hands moving deftly, shaping molten glass into a delicate vase, or hammering silver into an intricate design. The rhythmic sounds of their work, a gentle percussion in the background of the city's bustling life. Tyre, the greatest of the Phoenician cities, sat proudly upon its island, a powerful fortress and a testament to Phoenician ingenuity. Its walls, built to withstand the assaults of time and invaders, stood as silent sentinels, watching over the ebb and flow of the tides. The city itself, a labyrinth of narrow streets and towering buildings, buzzed with life. The scent of spices and woods mingled with the salty sea air, a comforting and familiar aroma for those who called Tyre home. Imagine strolling along its ancient walls, the cool stone beneath your feet, the distant sound of waves a constant reassurance. These Phoenician cities weren't merely trading hubs, they were centers of culture and innovation. Their sailors, skilled navigators, ventured far beyond the known world, charting new courses and establishing trading posts along the Mediterranean coast and beyond. They brought not only goods, but ideas, their influence spreading like ripples in a pond, touching the lives of countless people across the ancient world. And as the day ended, the soft sounds of the sea and the quiet hum of the city would lull the Phoenicians to sleep, dreams of distant voyages and bustling marketplaces filling their slumber. As you drift off to sleep, imagine yourself, perhaps walking the ancient streets of Tyre, the gentle sounds of the waves, a soothing lullaby to your soul. Imagine the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the Mediterranean sky in hues of orange and rose. Along the coast, nestled amongst the rocky shores, lived the Phoenicians. A people of the sea, their lives were intertwined with the rhythm of the waves, the whisper of the wind, and the bounty of the ocean. And from that ocean, from a humble, unassuming creature, they would create something extraordinary, something that would paint their history in vibrant, enduring colors, something that would become synonymous with power and wealth, purple dye. It began, as many remarkable things do, quite simply. Fishermen, hauling in their nets, would often find amongst their catch small, seemingly insignificant shellfish. These were the murex snails, their shells a modest gray or brown, their bodies containing a secret that would make them, and their discoverers, incredibly wealthy. You see, within the murex, nestled deep within its soft tissues, lay a tiny drop of a liquid, almost colorless at first. But then, exposed to the air and sunlight, a magical transformation would begin. Slowly, gradually, the colorless liquid would darken, deepening into shades of crimson, then violet, until finally a breathtaking, rich, royal purple emerged. It was a captivating sight, a color unlike any other, both radiant and mysterious. The process was painstaking, meticulous. Thousands upon thousands of these small snails had to be collected, their glands painstakingly extracted. Then came the process of extraction, a careful, slow boiling, a meticulous filtering. Days, sometimes weeks, were spent transforming this humble sea creature into a precious commodity. The air would be thick with the scent of the sea, mingling with the faintly pungent aroma of the dye itself. A labor of love and a labor of immense skill. Once obtained, this purple dye was unlike anything the world had ever known. It was vibrant, it was long-lasting. It would cling to fabric, defying the elements, maintaining its brilliant hue even after countless washings. It wasn't simply a color, it was a status symbol, a testament to wealth, to power, and to the skill of the Phoenicians themselves. Imagine the scene. Wealthy merchants in their fine purple-dyed robes negotiating trade deals, their very clothing a symbol of their influence and success. Think of the stunning purple fabrics adorning the thrones of kings and queens, the deep violet hues enriching the tapestries within their palaces. The color purple, painstakingly created from humble sea snails, became inextricably linked to the Phoenician identity, their prosperity, and their place in the ancient world. Their purple dye traveled far and wide, reaching the courts of distant empires, shaping trade routes, and forging alliances, all thanks to a tiny droplet of color extracted from the depths of the sea. And so, as you drift off to sleep, remember this story of humble beginnings and grand achievements, of a small shellfish and the vibrant legacy it left behind. Rest now, and let the quiet hues of the Mediterranean sunset soothe you into slumber. Imagine the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the Mediterranean sky in hues of orange and rose. The air is warm, carrying the scent of salt and distant spices. On the shore, Phoenician shipbuilders are putting the finishing touches on their vessels, their movements slow and deliberate, a rhythmic dance of skilled hands. These are not just boats, these are floating cities, designed for journeys that would take months, even years. Their ships, sleek and sturdy, were designed for long voyages, conquering waves and charting new lands. The hulls, carefully crafted from cedarwood sourced from the Lebanon mountains, were strong and resilient, capable of withstanding the relentless pounding of the ocean. The wood was carefully chosen, each plank selected for its grain and strength, ensuring the longevity and seaworthiness of the vessel. The builders understood the secrets of the wood, knowing how to bend and shape it to create a hull that would flex with the waves rather than break against them. The Phoenicians were masters of their craft. They didn't just build ships, they understood the ocean's moods, its currents, and its hidden dangers. Their knowledge wasn't written in books, but passed down through generations, whispered on the docks, shared during long nights under the stars. They learned to read the stars, using their positions to guide them across vast stretches of open water. The constellations became their compass, their silent companions on lonely voyages. Picture a Phoenician vessel setting sail. The sails, woven from strong linen, billow in the wind, catching the gentle breeze and propelling the ship forward. The oarsmen, their muscles honed by years of work, row in unison, their movements precise and powerful. The rhythmic splash of the oars against the water creates a soothing lullaby, the soundtrack to their journey. Aboard, sailors worked tirelessly, maintaining the ship, navigating by the stars, and keeping watch for storms or land. Their lives were intertwined with the sea, their fate bound to the capricious moods of the ocean. The ships themselves were surprisingly sophisticated for their time. They were equipped with sturdy rudders, allowing them to navigate with greater precision. They had ample storage space for provisions, carrying enough food, water, and other supplies to sustain the crew on long voyages. Clever designs ensured the ship's stability, allowing it to weather even the most formidable storms. And they carried more than just cargo. They carried the spirit of exploration, the courage to venture into the unknown, and the unwavering determination to reach their destination. As you drift off to sleep, imagine the gentle rocking of a Phoenician vessel, the creak of the wood, the whisper of the wind in the sails, the promise of distant shores and untold adventures. The Mediterranean Sea. Imagine it, if you will, a shimmering expanse of blue under the warm sun. For the Phoenicians, it wasn't just a body of water. It was their lifeblood, connecting their bustling cities like threads on a richly woven tapestry. Their sleek, nimble ships, crafted from cedar and propelled by the steady rhythm of oars and sails, danced upon its waves. These weren't just boats. They were floating extensions of their homeland, carrying with them the scent of cedar and the hopes of a prosperous future. Picture a Phoenician vessel, perhaps near the coast of what is now Lebanon. The sun, a molten orb sinking towards the horizon, paints the water in hues of orange and gold. The crew, weathered by sun and sea, sing low chants as they work, their voices blending with the gentle lapping of the waves against the hull. They're carrying purple dye, a precious commodity prized throughout the ancient world. Imagine the careful process, the meticulous gathering of the murex snails, the painstaking extraction of the vibrant color, a secret guarded for generations. This cargo, the fruits of their labor, will eventually reach faraway lands, adding a splash of regal purple to the robes of kings and queens. The sea was a highway, a network of familiar routes carved into the mind and heart of every sailor. They navigated by the stars, their knowledge passed down from father to son, a heritage as vast and deep as the sea itself. Landmarks were as familiar as the lines on their palms. A distinctive headland, a secluded bay, a cluster of islands rising like sentinels from the waves. They knew the moods of the sea, the unpredictable whims of the currents, the unpredictable wrath of storms. They respected its power, but they also held it close, a constant companion on their long voyages. Their journeys were not merely commercial enterprises. They were expeditions of discovery and cultural exchange. They established trading posts along the coasts, small outposts that grew into thriving cities. Carthage, a city of formidable power and splendor, stands as a testament to their enduring legacy. Imagine the lively marketplace, teeming with traders from distant lands, bartering goods and sharing stories. The air is thick with the aroma of spices from the east, fine silks from the orient, and the rich scent of their own prized purple dye. These journeys also carried tales, myths, and legends across the waters. The Phoenicians, skilled sailors and astute traders, were also gifted storytellers. Their narratives, whispered from ship to ship, from port to port, enriched the cultures they encountered. They shared tales of gods and heroes, of epic voyages and daring adventures. These stories, carried on the breath of the sea breeze, helped shape the myths and beliefs of many civilizations. And so, as the sun dips lower each night and the stars begin their silent vigil, the sea continues its quiet work, carrying the legacy of the Phoenicians across the ages, their voyages echoing softly on the waves. Let the gentle rhythm of the sea lull you to sleep. Imagine, if you will, the gentle lapping of waves against the hull of a Phoenician ship. The sun, a warm hand on your face, dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. The air is thick with the scent of salt and distant spices, a fragrant promise of far-away lands. This was the world of the Phoenicians, masters of the sea, their lives interwoven with the rhythm of trade and exchange. From the rugged coast of Lebanon, their journeys stretched across the vast Mediterranean, a network of commerce that connected civilizations and shaped the ancient world. Their ships, sturdy and seaworthy, were their lifeblood, carrying not just goods, but dreams and ambitions. They sailed through sun-drenched waters and under star-studded nights. Think of the weight of their cargo, the gleam of tin from the misty lands of Britain, a metal so precious, so crucial for bronze working, the foundation of so many cultures. Picture the vibrant colors of textiles, silks shimmering like captured starlight, and wool, soft as a lamb's fleece, woven with intricate patterns, telling silent stories of skill and artistry. The scent of spices, carried on the sea breeze, hinted at the far reaches of their travels. Peppercorns, pungent and warm, journeyed from the distant east, adding a piquant zest to meals in far-flung cities. Cinnamon, its aroma rich and comforting, and frankincense, its fragrance sacred and calming, traveled from lands shrouded in mystery, adding a touch of the exotic to everyday life. These were not mere commodities, but threads of connection, linking distant cultures through the shared experience of flavor and aroma. But the Phoenician trade was not always so idyllic. The harsher realities of ancient commerce also played a role. Slaves, captured or traded, were a part of this exchange, a grim reminder of the inequalities that existed even in this bustling network. Their stories, often untold and unheard, are woven into the very fabric of the Phoenician economic system, a silent testament to a bygone era. Their labor helped build cities, fueled agriculture, and contributed to the prosperity of the Phoenician civilization, a stark contrast to their own circumstances. Yet, even amidst this complexity, the sheer scale of the Phoenician network is remarkable. From the bustling markets of Tyre and Sidon, their goods flowed outward, reaching the shores of North Africa, the Iberian Peninsula, and even beyond. They established trading posts, little outposts of commerce dotted across the Mediterranean, each one a testament to their enterprise and ambition. These posts were not simply places of exchange, but also centers of cultural diffusion, as ideas, technologies, and religious beliefs traveled along with the goods. Imagine the hushed conversations between traders, the bartering and haggling, the slow, deliberate exchange that built connections across vast distances. This continuous flow of goods and ideas created a vibrant, ever-evolving world, a tapestry woven from the threads of trade and exchange. As you drift off to sleep, let the image of a Phoenician ship, sailing gently across the starlit sea, lull you into peaceful slumber. Across the sea, a new power rose, a testament to their adaptability and ambition. From the bustling, purple-dyed shores of Tyre, a Phoenician colony spread its influence, its tendrils reaching across the waves to the sun-drenched lands of North Africa. This was Carthage, a city destined to become a legend, a rival to Rome itself, a whisper in the wind of ancient history. Imagine the scene. The salty spray on your face, the rhythmic creak of wooden ships, the cries of gulls overhead. These weren't just merchant vessels, these were the lifeblood of a burgeoning empire. Carthaginians, skilled sailors and shrewd traders, navigated the Mediterranean, their ships laden with purple dye, the prized Tyrian purple that adorned the robes of kings and emperors. They traded in cedarwood, strong and fragrant, and olive oil, rich and golden. They brought back spices from faraway lands, silks from the east, and stories of distant cultures. This constant exchange of goods and ideas fueled the growth of Carthage, shaping its unique identity. The city itself was a marvel. Built on a narrow peninsula, it jutted out into the sea, a natural fortress. Thick walls, strong and imposing, encircled the city, protecting it from invaders. Within those walls, life thrived. Grand temples rose toward the sky, dedicated to powerful gods and goddesses, their intricate carvings whispering secrets of the past. The bustling marketplace teemed with activity, a symphony of sounds and smells. The haggling of merchants, the bleating of goats, the aroma of exotic spices hanging heavy in the air. Homes, some modest, others grand and elaborate, lined the narrow streets. Their inhabitants a mix of Phoenician settlers, Berber natives, and traders from across the known world. It was a city of contrasts, a blend of cultures, united by a shared ambition and a common language of trade. But Carthage was more than just a trading hub. It was a military power. Its navy, a formidable force, dominated the western Mediterranean. Carthaginian generals, skilled strategists and courageous warriors, led their armies to victory across North Africa, Spain, and even into Italy. Their disciplined legions, their war elephants thundering across the battlefield, instilled fear in their enemies. Hannibal, a name whispered with awe and dread throughout the Roman world, stands as their most famous general, his daring crossing of the Alps a testament to Carthaginian resolve and military genius. Yet, even with all its might and glory, the shadow of Rome loomed. These two powerful civilizations, separated by the sea, yet bound by a fierce rivalry, would clash in a series of epic conflicts, the Punic Wars. These wars, fought over centuries, were brutal and bloody, shaping the fate of the Mediterranean world. The rise and fall of Carthage, a story of ambition, innovation, and ultimately defeat, serves as a reminder of the fleeting nature of power and the enduring strength of human resilience. As the waves crash gently on the shore, let the tale of Carthage lull you into a peaceful slumber, a story of a city built on ambition and lost to the sands of time. Sleep now, and dream of ancient wonders. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the Phoenician ships slipped silently out of their harbors. They weren't driven by conquest, not primarily, but by a quiet, persistent yearning, a desire to explore, to trade, to build. Their slender vessels, crafted with skill and care, were their homes, their workplaces, their floating extensions of civilization. The rhythmic lapping of waves against the hull, the creak of the timbers, these were the lullabies of their long journeys. They ventured far, these seafarers, their course guided by the stars and a deep understanding of the currents. The familiar coastline of Lebanon faded into the distance, replaced by the endless expanse of the azure Mediterranean. Days bled into weeks, weeks into months, as they navigated the open sea, their spirits buoyed by the promise of new horizons. North Africa unfolded before them like a welcoming scroll. The fertile lands along the coast, bathed in the warm sun, beckoned them ashore. Here they established trading posts, small settlements at first, clusters of tents and simple dwellings nestled amongst the dunes. These weren't aggressive invasions, instead a slow, organic process of exchange and interaction. They traded their purple dye, renowned throughout the ancient world, their fine glasswork and their skillfully crafted textiles. In return, they received the grains and metals of the African lands, enriching their own culture and economy. Carthage, a name whispered with respect throughout the Mediterranean, gradually rose from the sandy shores of modern-day Tunisia. It began as a small trading post, a foothold in a new land, but it grew, expanding its influence like the roots of a mighty tree. It became a bustling metropolis, a center of commerce and culture, a testament to the Phoenicians' ability to adapt and thrive in foreign lands. Imagine the sounds of the marketplace, the scent of spices and unfamiliar fruits carried on the sea breeze, the murmur of many tongues, a symphony of exchange and interaction. Beyond Carthage, their journeys continued. They sailed further west, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the mythical boundaries of the known world. Each new landing was a chance to establish a connection, a new strand in the vast network of trade that they were weaving across the sea. They left their mark not only on the coastline, but also on the cultures they encountered, sharing their language, their religion, their way of life. The blending of cultures, the quiet exchange of ideas, this was the legacy of their voyages. As the stars twinkled above, guiding their ships through the night, they dreamt of distant lands, of new opportunities, of the quiet satisfaction of a journey well traveled. The rhythmic pulse of the sea, a constant companion, lulled them into a restful slumber, promising more adventures under the sun. And you, listening to the gentle rhythm of my voice, might also drift off into the quiet depths of sleep, carried away by the whispers of the ancient sea and the tales of those who dared to explore. Imagine, if you will, a time long ago, nestled beside the shimmering Mediterranean Sea. The sun dips low, painting the sky in hues of orange and rose, just as it did millennia past. This is Phoenicia, a land of skilled sailors and shrewd traders. Their ships, laden with purple dye and fragrant cedarwood, sailed across vast oceans, connecting distant lands. But their greatest legacy wasn't their commerce, nor their seafaring prowess, but something far more subtle, something that would change the world forever: their alphabet. Before the Phoenicians, writing was a complex affair. Picture cumbersome cuneiform tablets, their surface covered in intricate wedges and symbols, requiring years of dedicated study to master. Or imagine the elegant but equally challenging hieroglyphs of Egypt, their meanings hidden within the pictures themselves. These systems, while impressive, were difficult to learn and limited in their accessibility. Only a select few, scribes and priests, held the keys to these written worlds. But the Phoenicians, with their practical nature and eye for efficiency, conceived something revolutionary: a simpler way to record language. Instead of representing ideas or concepts directly, like pictures did, they used symbols to represent the sounds of speech, the building blocks of words, consonants. Think of it as a clever shortcut, a streamlined system of communication. Each symbol, a carefully crafted stroke or curve, represented a single sound. This elegant simplicity made it far easier to learn than its predecessors. Imagine the excitement, the sense of empowerment, as more people gained access to the written word. Picture a Phoenician scribe, perhaps perched on a sun-drenched terrace overlooking the bustling port. He's meticulously crafting his message, the rhythmic scratching of his stylus on papyrus, the soothing soundtrack to the gentle sea breeze. Each symbol flows effortlessly from his stylus, a testament to the beauty and efficiency of his alphabet. He's not merely writing words, he's weaving stories, preserving history, and connecting with others across time and distance. This wasn't just a technological advancement, it was a cultural shift. The ability to write became less exclusive, spreading from the elite to a broader segment of society. Suddenly, more people could write letters to loved ones, record transactions, or document their observations of the world around them. The world was becoming more connected, more accessible, thanks to these simple symbols. Now, fast forward through the centuries. The Phoenician alphabet, in its elegant simplicity, began its journey across continents. Greeks adapted it, adding vowels to enrich its expressive power. Then the Romans borrowed and modified it, spreading its influence across their vast empire. From there, its journey continued, evolving and adapting as it spread across Europe and beyond. The familiar letters we use today, A, B, C, and all the rest, are distant cousins of those ancient Phoenician symbols. They bear the imprint of countless hands, each generation adding their own stroke, their own modification, their own story to its long and fascinating history. They carry within them the echo of a revolutionary idea, born on the shores of the ancient Mediterranean. And as you drift off to sleep, remember that the simple elegance of the letters you know, those building blocks of stories and communication, have a long and fascinating history, stretching all the way back to the sun-drenched shores of Phoenicia. Let their silent story soothe you into a peaceful slumber.
The Phoenicians, masters of the sea, weren't immune to the storms of conflict. Their rise to prominence, built on trade and shrewd negotiation, wasn't a smooth sail. As their influence spread across the Mediterranean, they inevitably crossed paths with other powerful players, each with their own ambitions and designs. Imagine the sun setting over the purple waters, the salty air heavy with the unspoken tensions between rival fleets. One of their earliest challenges came from the Egyptians. For centuries, Egypt had controlled much of the eastern Mediterranean, its pharaohs wielding immense power. The Phoenicians, with their nimble ships and extensive trade networks, often found themselves navigating the complex web of Egyptian politics, sometimes as allies, sometimes as cautious competitors. Think of the delicate balance, the careful exchange of goods, the quiet whispers of diplomacy, the ever-present threat of a sudden shift in power. Further east, the great empires of the Near East presented another set of obstacles. The Assyrians, renowned for their military might, cast a long shadow over the region. The Phoenician city-states, often fiercely independent, sometimes found themselves caught in the crossfire of Assyrian conquests. Some cities allied with the powerful empire, offering tribute and resources in exchange for protection. Others, holding firm to their independence, risked incurring the Assyrians' wrath. This was a time of careful calculation, of balancing loyalty with survival. The Babylonians, too, were a force to be reckoned with. Their vast empire controlled vital trade routes, and their influence extended far and wide. The Phoenicians, adept at navigating complex political landscapes, often found ways to maintain trading relationships even with such formidable powers. Picture the caravans winding their way across the desert, carrying precious goods and whispered promises under the watchful eye of Babylonian officials. But the challenges weren't just from external empires. Internal rivalries between the Phoenician city-states themselves were a constant source of tension. Each city, fiercely independent, often competed for trade routes, resources, and influence. Think of the bustling marketplaces, the clash of competing merchants, the simmering resentments between powerful families. Sometimes these rivalries erupted into open conflict, weakening the Phoenician collective against external threats. Even the Greeks, initially trading partners, became rivals as their own power grew. As Greek colonies spread across the Mediterranean, they increasingly competed with the Phoenicians for trade and territory. Imagine the sight of Greek triremes meeting Phoenician merchant ships on the open sea. A silent standoff, a tense moment of potential conflict. Sometimes cooperation yielded fruitful partnerships, and at other times, conflict was unavoidable. The Phoenician story, therefore, is not just one of triumph and maritime prowess, but also of navigating a complex world of shifting alliances, bitter rivalries, and constant threats. Their story is one of resilience, of adaptation, of finding a way to thrive despite the storms that raged around them. So breathe deeply, let the sounds of the waves and the whisper of the wind lull you into a peaceful sleep, and dream of the ancient Phoenicians and their enduring legacy.
The scent of cedarwood and sea salt still lingered in the air, a ghost of Phoenicia's vibrant past. For centuries, their purple dye had stained the robes of kings. Their ships had crisscrossed the Mediterranean, carrying the treasures of the East and the West. Their alphabet, a gift to the world, whispered stories across parchment and stone. But the sun, which had once shone so brightly on their bustling cities, was beginning to set on their independence. As the great empires of the ancient world stretched their limbs, their shadows fell long and dark across the Phoenician coastline. The nimble trading ships, once the envy of the seas, found themselves increasingly navigating waters controlled by others. The once proud city-states, each a jewel in the crown of their civilization, began to feel the weight of external pressure. First came the Assyrians, their mighty army a relentless tide. City after city fell, their walls crumbling under the force of the siege engines. Tyre, Sidon, Arvad, names once synonymous with wealth and power, now echoed with the sorrow of conquest.
The Phoenicians fought bravely, their skill with the sea giving them some respite, but against the sheer might of the Assyrian Empire, their resistance was, sadly, only a delaying tactic. Tribute flowed eastward, a constant reminder of their diminished autonomy. The Assyrian Empire, however, was not destined to endure. As its power waned, a new challenger rose, the Babylonians. Their conquest wasn't as brutal, perhaps, but equally as decisive. The Phoenician cities, already weakened by years of conflict and tribute, found themselves once again under the sway of a foreign power. Their independence, already frayed, was further unraveled. The familiar rhythm of their lives, the quiet confidence in their own strength, began to fade. Even after the fall of Babylon, respite was short-lived. The Persian Empire, vast and ambitious, stretched its influence across the known world. The Phoenicians, experienced seafarers, were valued for their navigational expertise and shipbuilding skills, but this was a double-edged sword. Their mastery of the sea now served the ambitions of a larger, more powerful force. Their trading routes, once their lifeblood, were now part of a wider network controlled and regulated by the Persian king. The once independent city-states, each with its own unique character and traditions, were gradually absorbed into the vast Persian administrative machine. Their internal affairs were increasingly subject to Persian oversight. Their own systems of governance slowly eroded. The vibrant culture, once so rich and diverse, became subtly homogenized, its distinctive edges softening under the weight of imperial control. The whisper of the waves against the shores of Phoenicia carried not just the scent of the sea, but also the faint, melancholic sigh of a civilization adapting to a new reality. A reality where its dreams of complete autonomy belonged to the fading light of the past. And as the stars twinkled in the night sky, the stories of Phoenicia, a testament to resilience and adaptability, were passed down, a quiet reminder that even the greatest civilizations can face the tides of change.
Though their independent reign ended, their legacy lives on, a testament to their remarkable achievements. Imagine, if you will, the gentle lapping of waves against the shores of ancient Tyre, the scent of cedarwood mingling with the salty air. Even after the empires rose and fell around them, the echoes of Phoenician ingenuity continued to resonate throughout the Mediterranean world and beyond. Their mastery of the sea, their skill in shipbuilding, these weren't simply feats of engineering, but a cornerstone of their culture. Think of the countless voyages, the intricate networks of trade they established, connecting distant lands and cultures. The purple dye, extracted from the murex snail, a vibrant symbol of royalty and power, became a highly sought-after commodity, its rich color adorning the garments of kings and emperors across the ancient world. The stories of these voyages, whispered from generation to generation, painted pictures of faraway lands and exotic goods, stimulating the imaginations of those who stayed ashore. Their alphabet, a simpler, more efficient system than those that came before, stands as perhaps their most enduring gift. Imagine the painstaking process of carving symbols into stone, the careful strokes of a stylus on papyrus, each letter representing a sound, a building block for communication. This elegant system, adapted and modified, formed the basis of many of the alphabets we use today, the very letters you see on this page, a silent testament to Phoenician innovation. It allowed for the widespread dissemination of knowledge and stories, a chain linking past to present. Their glassmaking, too, was celebrated across the known world. Picture the glowing furnace, the artisans shaping molten glass into intricate forms, delicate vases, sturdy jars, shimmering beads. These objects, not simply functional but often works of art, traveled far and wide, symbols of Phoenician craftsmanship and artistic flair. Many of these treasures, excavated from ancient shipwrecks or tombs, still hold their luminous quality, a tangible connection to a vanished civilization. And their cities, oh, their cities! Tyre, Sidon, Byblos, names that whisper of grandeur and power. Even in ruins, one can almost sense the bustling marketplaces, the craftsmen at work, the merchants bartering their wares, the sailors returning from distant shores laden with riches and tales. The stones themselves seem to hold the memories of a vibrant, dynamic culture, a people who shaped the world around them with their ingenuity and their spirit of adventure. Let these echoes, gentle as the waves, lull you into a peaceful sleep. The legacy of Phoenicia lives on, a silent testament to their remarkable journey. Close your eyes now and drift away to the land of dreams. The sun dips low, painting the Mediterranean sky in hues of orange and rose, just as it did millennia ago when the Phoenicians sailed their ships across its vast expanse. Imagine, if you will, the gentle rocking of a vessel, the rhythmic creak of the wood, the salty air filling your lungs. These were the sounds that accompanied the Phoenicians on their incredible journeys, journeys fueled by a deep connection to their gods and goddesses. Their world was vibrant with mythology, each star, each wave, each gust of wind whispering of divine power. Melkart, the patron god of Tyre, a powerful protector, watched over their voyages, guiding their ships through treacherous waters. His image, strong and resolute, was carved onto their coins, a constant reminder of his presence. You might picture him now, standing tall against the stormy sea, his eyes calm amidst the chaos, his hand outstretched, guiding the weary sailors home. Astarte, the goddess of love, beauty, and war, was also a significant figure in their lives. Her gentle presence brought balance to the seafaring world, her beauty reflected in the shimmering scales of the fish and the iridescent shells found along the shore. Think of the gentle lapping of waves against the hull of a ship, a soft caress mirroring Astarte's comforting embrace. Their tales are woven with threads of courage and cunning, stories whispered around flickering campfires, tales of daring voyages to distant lands, of brave sailors facing storms and pirates, all in pursuit of rare goods and new trading partners. Picture a young Phoenician, his eyes wide with wonder, listening to a seasoned mariner recount the perils and triumphs of a journey to the faraway shores of Britain, the land of tin, a treasure coveted across the ancient world. And then there's El, the supreme god, the creator of the heavens and the earth, a silent but powerful presence in their lives. His vastness echoes in the endless horizon, the boundless expanse of the ocean that both nourished and challenged them. Close your eyes and feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, a gentle reminder of El's life-giving energy. These weren't just stories, they were a way of life, a framework that shaped their worldview, connecting them to the past, the present, and the unknown future. The Phoenicians, masters of the sea, navigators of both the physical and spiritual realms, left behind a legacy richer than any treasure they carried. Their myths, their legends, are whispers on the wind, echoes of a civilization that understood the deep connection between humanity and the divine, between exploration and faith, between the vastness of the ocean and the beating of a human heart.
Let these ancient stories lull you into a peaceful slumber, the rhythm of the waves a soft lullaby carrying you gently into the night. Sleep now, and let the ancient whispers guide your dreams.
Imagine, if you will, the slow, steady rhythm of the ocean's currents, a constant hush against the hull of a long-forgotten ship. For centuries, perhaps millennia, it lay undisturbed on the ocean floor, a silent guardian of its secrets. Then, one day, a glint of metal, a faint outline on sonar, hints at its existence. Divers descend, carefully brushing away the silt and sand, revealing the ghostly form of a vessel from a bygone era. Perhaps it's a Roman trading ship, its cargo of amphorae still nestled in its hold, whispering tales of distant lands and bustling marketplaces. Or maybe it's a Chinese junk, carrying silks and porcelain, treasures destined for far-off shores, now preserved in the cool embrace of the deep. Each artifact, each broken piece of pottery, each rusted nail contributes to a slowly unfolding narrative, a story of lives lived, journeys undertaken, and cultures exchanged across the vast expanse of the sea. The ocean holds countless such stories waiting to be discovered. But the land, too, yields its secrets to the patient hand of the archaeologist. Picture a team carefully excavating a site, layer by layer, uncovering the remains of an ancient city. Perhaps it's a lost civilization, its buildings half buried in the sand, its streets silent except for the gentle brush of trowels against earth. They uncover intricate mosaics, vibrant frescoes, and remnants of daily life. A child's toy, a broken cooking pot, the skeleton of a long-dead citizen, their final resting place after countless years. Each find speaks volumes, piecing together a picture of their society, their beliefs, their struggles, and their triumphs. We learn about their architecture, their artistic styles, their social structures, their relationship with the environment around them. It's like tracing the faint lines of a long-forgotten map, slowly revealing the contours of a civilization lost to time. Think of the majestic pyramids of Egypt, silently guarding the secrets of pharaohs and their intricate belief systems. Or the incredible terracotta warriors of China, a silent army frozen in time, forever protecting their emperor in the afterlife. These incredible discoveries are not just collections of artifacts. They are windows into the past, enabling us to connect with people who lived thousands of years ago, to understand their hopes and fears, their triumphs and failures, in ways that words alone can never fully capture. Each carefully unearthed artifact, a beautifully crafted piece of jewelry, a finely carved stone tool, the delicate bones of an ancient animal, is a tangible link to the past. A reminder that the human story is a long and continuous one, woven from the threads of countless lives, stretching across continents and centuries. As we continue to excavate, to explore, to uncover the past, we build a fuller, richer understanding of our place in the grand tapestry of human history. The earth itself becomes our guide, slowly unveiling its ancient narratives, one carefully revealed artifact at a time. Let these thoughts settle gently in your mind as you drift off to sleep. Let's drift now, gently, into the twilight of the Phoenician world. Imagine the sun dipping low over the Mediterranean, casting long shadows across the bustling ports of Tyre and Sidon. Picture the scent of cedarwood and spices mingling with the salty air, a familiar perfume to those who lived and breathed the Phoenician life. Their story is one of remarkable ingenuity, a testament to human resilience in the face of challenges, and a profound impact that echoes even now across millennia. Consider their ships, those slender vessels that braved the unpredictable seas. They were masters of navigation, charting courses across vast distances, guided by the stars and their own deep knowledge of the currents and winds. They weren't just sailors, they were explorers, pushing the boundaries of the known world, bringing their goods and their culture to far-flung lands. Imagine the courage it took to set sail into the unknown, leaving the familiar shores behind, trusting in their skills and their seafaring gods. Their voyages weren't merely commercial ventures, they were acts of pioneering spirit, expanding the horizons of the ancient world. And think of their alphabet, a simple yet revolutionary system of writing. Before the Phoenicians, communication across vast distances relied on cumbersome hieroglyphs or complex ideograms. The Phoenicians streamlined it all, creating a system that used symbols to represent sounds, a foundation upon which our own alphabet is built. This was no small feat, a testament to their practical minds and their desire for efficient communication. They gifted the world a tool of immense power, the ability to easily record stories, laws, and ideas, a gift that continues to shape our world today. Their glass-making skills were equally impressive, transforming humble sand into objects of exquisite beauty and utility. Imagine the warmth of the furnace, the careful movements of the artisans, shaping the molten glass into goblets, beads, and intricate vessels. These weren't just commodities, they were objects of art, showcasing a mastery of technique and a keen eye for design. Their artistry traveled far and wide, adorning palaces and homes across the Mediterranean, a silent testament to their skills and their influence. Yet their story wasn't always smooth sailing. They faced threats from powerful empires, endured conflicts, and weathered storms both literal and metaphorical. Their resilience in the face of such adversity is truly inspiring. They adapted, they innovated, they rebuilt. The Phoenicians' enduring legacy isn't just about their successes, it's also about their ability to endure, to persevere, to learn from their setbacks, and to carry on their journey, even when the seas grew rough. And so, as you drift off to sleep, remember the Phoenicians. Remember their ships sailing into the sunset, their alphabet shaping the words you read, their glass gleaming in the light of distant lands. Remember their ingenuity, their resilience, and their profound impact on the ancient world. Let their story be a quiet, comforting thought as you drift peacefully into the night. Let their legacy lull you into a restful slumber. Good night. As our journey ends, let the calming rhythm of the waves lull you into a peaceful slumber. Picture the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. The air, still warm from the day, carries the scent of salt and distant wood smoke. You are aboard a Phoenician trading ship, its sails furled, gently rocking on the tranquil waters of the Mediterranean. The day's work is done. The bustling activity of loading and unloading cargo has ceased. Only the quiet creaks of the timbers and the gentle lapping of the waves against the hull remain.
The seasoned sailors, their faces etched with the stories of countless voyages, hum soft melodies, their voices blending with the whispering wind. They are weary, but content. They've navigated treacherous currents and weathered fierce storms, carrying their precious wares across the vast expanse of sea. Their journeys have taken them to lands unknown, filled with exotic sights and sounds, enriching their lives with experiences beyond the wildest dreams of those who stayed ashore. Now they are returning home to the bustling port cities of Phoenicia. Think of the familiar coastline coming into view. The silhouettes of the cedar forests, dark against the fading light, are a welcome sight. The rhythmic pulse of the oars, steady and sure, echoes the heartbeat of the land itself. Each stroke brings them closer to their families, their loved ones waiting patiently for their return. Imagine the warmth of a crackling fire, the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread, and the joy of shared stories under the starry night sky. The ship glides effortlessly into the harbor, guided by the skilled hands of the helmsman. The sounds of the city, the chatter of the merchants, the cries of the gulls, the rhythmic clang of the blacksmith's hammer are a comforting symphony, a reminder of the vibrant life that awaits them. As the anchor drops with a soft splash, a sense of peace descends upon the weary crew. Their long voyage is complete, and the welcome of home is a balm to their souls. The air is thick with the sweet scent of incense burning in the nearby temples, a reminder of the gods who guided their journeys. The stars twinkle brightly above, mirroring the countless lights that illuminate the bustling city. Feel the gentle rocking of the ship as it settles into its berth. The sounds of the night fade into a soothing lullaby, the gentle rhythm of the waves a constant companion as you drift toward sleep. Each creak of the ship, each whisper of the wind, is a soft promise of rest and dreams filled with the sights and sounds of Phoenicia. Let your worries melt away with the tide and surrender to the embrace of sleep. You are safe, you are home. Sleep soundly now and dream of the sea.
The sun dips below the horizon, painting the Mediterranean sky in hues of orange and rose. Imagine, if you will, the gentle lapping of waves against the sandy shores of ancient Phoenicia. The air, warm and scented with the salt of the sea and the fragrant resins of cedarwood, carries the murmur of the city, a low hum of life slowly fading as the stars begin to prick the darkening velvet. You are there, walking along the smooth, worn stones of a city built on trade and seafaring. The Phoenicians, you see, were masters of the waves. Their slender ships, sleek as dolphins, carried them across the vast ocean, their sails billowing like the breath of a sleeping god. They sailed to faraway lands, establishing trading posts and bringing back treasures untold. Purple dye, richer than any king's robe, shimmering silks from the east, exotic spices that tease the senses, all found their way to the bustling ports of Tyre and Sidon. Picture the merchants, their voices low and measured, bargaining under the flickering lamps, the clinking of coins a soft counterpoint to the rustling of silks. Think of the skilled artisans, their nimble fingers shaping intricate glass beads, crafting delicate jewelry, carving beautiful ivory.
Their creations were renowned throughout the ancient world, symbols of Phoenician ingenuity and artistry. Imagine the scent of molten glass, the sharp tang of the sea, mingling with the sweet aroma of incense burning in the temples dedicated to powerful sea gods, Melkart, the lord of Tyre, and Baal, the storm god whose moods dictated the fortunes of their voyages. You feel the cool evening breeze on your face as you wander through the narrow, winding streets of the city. The houses, built of pale stone, rise close together, their whitewashed walls reflecting the starlight. Families gather in their courtyards, sharing stories and laughter under the open sky. The sounds of their conversations, carried on the gentle night air, are soft and indistinct, lulling you into a state of peaceful repose. Perhaps you catch a glimpse of a priest, his robe flowing, his hands raised in prayer, invoking the blessings of the gods on their city and their people. The rhythmic chant of his prayers, almost hypnotic in its simplicity, blends seamlessly with the murmur of the night. The distant sound of a lyre, played with a light, almost hesitant touch, adds another layer to the night's gentle serenade. The air grows cooler still. The stars shine brighter, casting their shimmering light on the tranquil waters of the harbor. The city slowly settles into a quiet slumber. The rhythmic lapping of the waves against the shore becomes a soothing lullaby. Let the gentle sounds and the images of ancient Phoenicia carry you away on a tide of peaceful dreams. Breathe deeply, relax your body, and allow yourself to drift off into sleep, the whispers of history fading into the soft murmurs of slumber. Sweet dreams of ancient shores. Sleep now, rest.